We're here at New York Comic Con 2018, and it's a great place for collecting of all sorts. Let's say, for instance, you're into Batman. Maybe this one, which is $425 and not available until 2019, is out of the question. But the good news is, no matter what your budget, price point, whatever, there's probably a Batman for you. Let's check out some of the options. So if you've only got a few bucks kicking around and you really can't spend a ton on high-end collectibles, one thing that's really fun is lots of second-hand but still carded toys. You're going to find stuff from your childhood here, whether your childhood was 5 years ago or 25 years ago. Here's Batman in his Night Quest Batman outfit, better known as Azrael, who, spoilers from a comic from 25 years ago, isn't actually Batman. Of course, they also have a nice Batman Beyond here, who's search engine Batman. But yeah, it's 10 bucks. There's a misconception about collecting older toys that they're automatically expensive and that anything that's mint on card is, by default, really valuable. And that's not always the case. And the idea is that if you're collecting this, it's probably because it means something to you, or because, I don't know, maybe you want to have a cool Azrael figure on your desk. The cool thing about coming to one of these places is you actually get to emulate that feeling of being in a toy store from a long time ago, you know, like a really messy KB Toys or Toys R Us. Remember those places? Where you have to dig through racks and try to find that one particular thing you're looking for. It's actually collecting, it's not just accumulating. And there's something really fun about finding that one perfect holy grail you've been digging around for ages. Personally, I think I'm okay without search engine Batman. If I really need him, I can always use a search engine. So if you're not quite as nostalgic for the early 90s as some people are, there's also more recent Batman stuff. Here's one from Arkham Knight, which is just a few years old. This is going for 30 bucks now, which is pretty close to how much it was when it probably came out. DC Collectibles is the DC Collectibles brand. They make a lot of really super articulated, really well-painted figures, as well as statues and figurines and stuff like that. And a lot of their stuff is pretty affordable. You're talking like 30 bucks for a figure, which is about going rate for something that's 6 inches tall and has multiple points of articulation and doesn't look like it was made for children. So here's something that was, I believe, sold in kind of mainstream stores. This is a Mattel DC Universe figure. It's pretty well articulated, and it's you know, not as good paint ops, but this is, again, made for a kind of wider audience. This is 40 bucks now because this toy is almost 10 years old, so it was probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 or 12 bucks when it first came out, and now it's 40 because you didn't buy it when you saw it in Kmart, you know, back in 2009 when we were all listening to Kesha. So if you're looking for something really high-end to decorate your house with, some kind of nice Batman conversation piece, Mondo has you covered. This is the Red Rain statue that came out, I believe, last year. It's going for 250 bucks. Oh, no, it got shipped. It's down to 220. But yeah, this came out pretty recently. It's probably not too hard to get a hold of one of these because, yeah, it's recent. And collectibles, when they're, you know, released in limited editions, are maybe not quite as limited as they used to be. On the other hand, here is a Randy Bowen statue from maybe 20 years ago. This is selling for $6,000 because it was one of 250. So how much you're going to pay for a Batman collectible totally depends on, one, how much money you have, and two, how much you love Batman. And I guess also how much room you have in your house for Batman collectibles. But I think there's a misconception that collecting means really getting every last little bit. It can always be the stuff that you find personally appealing. Maybe you really are like the idea of this particular design. Maybe you saw it in a catalog when you were 12 years old and it means the world to you and you have 6,000 bucks to spend on something like that. But the price is probably only going to go up. I couldn't afford it when I was in 7th grade, and I certainly can't afford it now. And of course, those are all the toys you can get in their packages. Prices will vary. Part of the fun is digging around. If you don't care if your toys are a little bit dinged up, and well, you can always dig through Tupperware bins for plastic bag loose action figures. That's actually my personal favorite part. You can find all kinds of weird stuff in here. Look at this dork.